Hello everybody, happy Monday. We are going live today with Michali to answer a question that's been posted on the forum. And we're just going to wait for some of you to show up and for Michali to show up. Hello everybody that's joining. Hello Michali. Hello Devairi. I think I accepted you, Michali.
Hello.
Hey. Hi. Good to see you.
Hi. Good to see you too. Can you see me okay?
Yeah.
My head is in the frame.
Your head's in the frame. My head is somewhat in the frame right now, yeah.
Amazing. That sounds great. All right. I'm just taking a sip. All right.
Amazing. I've got my...
Okay. So I don't know how to pronounce the username. I think maybe it's Randy MM.
Okay.
And they write, not sure where to turn. My husband, only age 66, has officially been diagnosed with early Alzheimer's. We've been seeing changes over the last 2 years with memory and speech, but now it's official.
Mm-hmm.
We are both so young, and this is something that isn't going to be better or go into remission. I know it's a long, hard road ahead, but right now I'm just devastated for us both. Doctor recommends giving up driving, and I'm still working full time. He is going to feel so lost, independence going along with his mind. I'm babbling. Thanks for an ear.
Yes. I was so sad to read it, and nobody responded because I feel like people are at a loss, and I feel like maybe the demographic on our platform is a bit younger and maybe not necessarily dealing with this. So that's why I wanted us to address it. I knew that you'd have something to say because you always do. Giving you the pressure in and out.
Is that my reputation? Okay. I mean, I again, I know I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but take what I say with a grain of salt because this is not an area that I specialize in. Dealing with these types of health issues and helping support people who are navigating them either for themselves or their partners. But there's a few thoughts that I have to this. First of all, it's not babbling. Every single word that you're saying, this person is saying, is important and really gives the people reading, the question or the comment a feel for a little bit of what you're going through. So that's first of all. Second of all, I think that this, as this person very wisely said, this is going to be a long road. This is going to be a process. And what process means is that we don't have all the answers the second we get a diagnosis. Even the doctors don't have the answers because every single person's health is so unique, both physical and mental. And so part of this process is going to require some flexibility, and there's learning curves and they're constantly shifting. Now, what do we do during that process to help ourselves? So number one is really to first allow yourself to grieve. The life that you had is not going to continue. And that is so heartbreaking and devastating. It's a real, real loss. And you're entitled to, and you should give yourself the space to mourn and grieve that, because as this person said, they're very young, and changing course in life at the age of 66 when you envisioned, retirement looking very different is a very hard pill to swallow. So that's number one, is the grieving. Number two is getting any and all support. And I think I said this in our last live. Getting support looks like is going to people who have similar circumstances to you and seeing them navigate those circumstances and dealing with those circumstances in a way that speaks to you and means something to you. Okay, so if you're seeing people go through this, sorry for the background noise, if you're seeing other people go through this in, let's say, a support group, and you're looking at them going I don't know if that's how I'd want to handle it, right? Then those would not be the people you would turn to for support, right? So it's really important that you choose people wisely that can give you that support.
Meaning people that are going through this and that you look up to the way that they're dealing with it.
Exactly. or have the peace or the contentment or the knowledge of how to move forward, right? To choose wisely the people that you're going to first support. And then this is infinitely easier said than done. For people that are labeled caretakers, right? Even though some people take issue with that term when it comes to spouses. But for the person that's in the role of caretaker to a spouse, it's vital that they take really good care of themselves.
Yeah.
Because, kind of like that very overused, metaphor of you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before putting on a child.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to go through this marathon without giving yourself the nourishment and the energy that you need, right? And that includes, caring for yourself socially, caring for yourself emotionally and spiritually, all those things, right? So those are just like some of the thoughts that come to mind. I don't know if this person is spiritual at all or is religious at all. Some people take a lot of comfort in spirituality. Some people go through a period, sometimes a shorter period or extended period of being fuming with God. I always say that if you're fuming with God, it means you have a relationship with God. But, just know that the range of emotions are 1000% normal.
Yes.
And
thank you
again, it's a process.
Yeah, and thank you for this poster. I don't know the name, I forget. It was like hard to pronounce, but thank you for reaching out. Like, you did the right thing. You took that first step of reaching out anonymously. Like, that's not easy. And like, you picked up on the fact that you said I'm babbling. Like, get used to talking a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
If anybody
Keep
tells
babbling.
you that you're babbling, then those are not your people, because like, you're going to need multiple places to vent. And yeah, people might say like, I can't hear about this right now because I'm like, going through my own stuff, or I don't have the capacity or the space to contain your pain right now, but I want to be there for you. And, obviously not everybody can be on 24/7, but, taking that first step of realizing that you're going to need a place to vent, and you have this place, we're here for you, to vent, but also, have those people in your life, A, that you could look up to, but B, that you could turn to just to have a shoulder to cry on.
Yes, exactly. I 1000% agree. And then the other piece of it that this person is mentioning is their concern for their spouse. And you can feel the love that this person has for their spouse, and them really feeling what that loss of independence might be like. Like, to stop driving for so many people is devastating. And so I think that the spouse, also the husband's going to also need his own support. And there's, thank God we live in a day and age where you can access support groups online. There, there's so many Zoom support groups. There are many Alzheimer's support groups, both for the patient and for the spouse.
Do you know any off the top of your head, or like where she could look? Because I wouldn't even know where to like advise to begin looking other than Google. Like,
right. So I would definitely Google.
Jewish organizations that take care of this, no?
Yeah, so I would contact either OHEL, the Jewish board. I don't know where this person lives. And there's a lot of different foundations and like research on Alzheimer's, right? So so I would definitely check out those foundations too, because oftentimes they have resources. And then I would make sure to get your husband's support too. And then I would look for ways with him that he can still feel like an independent human being. So, and finding things that are both comforting and things that push him to use his mind and to keep it sharp. So it's both like kind of like to maintain that balance,
like acceptance,
right?
but also let's like slow the progression.
Exactly. And the way that we self-care for ourselves extends to, how her husband should self-care, right? Both physically taking the proper medications, going to the right doctors, emotionally, whether it's him going to his own therapist or her going to her own therapist, support groups, reaching out to friends, using spirituality, prayer, those types of things, exercise. Like, there's so many different ways that people can take care of themselves. And then also the other piece, and this falls under the category of taking care of of yourself is to really make a game plan, to sit with your partner and make a plan for what he wants for every single part of the process. Become very knowledgeable in the process of Alzheimer's, and then this will help him feel like he's in control of his destiny. Ask him, what is it that he wishes? And brainstorm, if there is a conflict, brainstorm, between what she wants and what he wants, brainstorm how to bridge that gap, either with therapeutic help or medical help or just the two of you.
Well,
that kind of thing.
Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, I'm done.
There is a professional on our platform. It's just coming to me that I remember that specializes in this or deals with this. Karen Redlick, I think she recently did a video. You can find it. She does work with like elder care, I believe, and I believe that she would probably, even if you currently have a therapist, it might be beneficial to just reach out and have a session or two, so she could point you in the right direction. Again, like, I speak for her work only because she's vetted and verified. It could be there are other people on the platform that do this. I just know her as being like, this is what I do. So I feel like getting that specialized care, like similar to what you were saying, like even though we gave general organizations that can be helpful, but there might be like much more like specifics depending on where she lives and things like that.
I love that. That's a great idea. Yeah, someone who's like specialized and understands all the pieces here.
Yeah.
The last like little suggestion is, a lot of times when a person gets a diagnosis of Alzheimer's, there's this intense fear of forgetting all the most meaningful, important things to the person, right? On both sides, for the person who got the diagnosis and their loved ones, right? So I think that also, because this is the best and the sharpest their minds are at when they first get the diagnosis, the best thing they can do is to record, write down, journal, share memories, thoughts, things that they might forget down the line, but that everyone else can remember with them, for them, remind them about, and really talk about what are my fears and how can I address them so that the road is less bumpy. Yes, being very proactive.
I love that. Okay. I think we did the best we could. I think you did amazing, because I'm not so knowledgeable in this. But really, like, I think you like pretty much addressed it from like all angles, and I think it's not like there's no quick fix here, although most therapeutic questions don't have quick fixes, but this is definitely like a journey. And of course, like, we didn't address the fact of like finding happy moments, like not calling it quits or like that life is over just because there's this diagnosis. But I feel like if this is the beginning early on in the diagnosis, it's much more difficult for, like, I don't feel comfortable saying like celebrate the joy or find the separate pieces in this time. I feel like, yes, that's where a therapist will come in and hopefully help this individual find and create meaningful times even as the diagnosis progresses. But at this point, I feel like we did more crisis management in terms of like our life right now, which I think is what was needed.
Yeah. This is like when a person first gets a really serious diagnosis, it's exactly what you said. It's a crisis.
Exactly.
Because their lives are about to change dramatically. So yeah, I'm so with you on that.
Amazing. Thank you, Michali. Go back to your
Bye. My munchkins.
You're wrong.
Yeah, they're having a good time.
I'm sure they are. Okay, we'll be in touch. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And thank you for the questioner for asking this meaningful question. And we're sending you so much love. And if you want to DM your name, I will have it in my prayers. So you can do that as well. Alrighty. Take care. Thanks, Michali.
Thank you, Faye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.